crafters, it's Chris from Crafts with Chris. And don't you just love that beautiful card? So we're going to make that today. You will need a piece of Pool Party. This here is cut A2 size, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, fold at 4 1/4. You also will need a piece of Pretty Peacock. This piece is cut 5 1/4 by 4. And then you're going to need a piece of crumb cake to do our stamping on. And you will need the stitched nestled label dies. I'm using the 6th smallest die to cut that, so you just want to make sure it's big enough to fit that. For our ink today, you will need Stays On ink, and you also will need Versamark. For the stamp set today, we will be using Day of Thanks. So we're bringing in our piece of crumb cake and our Stays On ink. You're going to take the turkey out of that set, and you're just going to stamp that down. When you're stamping your turkey, you don't want to stamp them at the bottom. You want to stamp them up a little, because we're going to put a sentiment underneath this turkey. We're going to bring in the sentiment, "You fill my heart with gratitude this day and always." And again, you're going to use your Stays On ink, and we're going to line this up right underneath our turkey. So I'm going to bring in my stitch shape framelit here, and we're going to go ahead and get that cut out with your die cutting machine. I'm going to bring in the watercolor pencils. This is the assortment 2, and I'm taking out of there the Balmy Blue, Cherry Cobbler, and Cajun Craze. So I'm just going to take and add a little color to my turkey. So for his head, I'm just going to go ahead and color the Balmy Blue, just the top of his head here. And then the rest of him, I'm going to go ahead and color Cherry Cobbler just down to his neck here. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Cajun Craze and just add color to his tail here. So I'm going to take my blender pens. I'm going to take one of the blender pens, and I'm just going to kind of blend in his head here. And then the Cherry Cobbler. So then we're just going to go ahead and blend in his tail. And the last thing I did with this was I wanted to have it stand out a little bit more on my card front. So I'm bringing in the Pretty Peacock's Stampin' Right, and I'm just taking it and I'm just going to go ahead and color along the edge here just to give it that definition. So we're going to go ahead and set that aside. So I'm bringing in the piece of Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to take my Emboss Buddy and just rub that all over the front of it. And I'm also bringing in my Versamark ink. And in that stamp set, there is a feather. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this feather all over the front of this card. I'm not really doing it in any type of pattern. So we're just going to set that to the side. We're going to do some embossing on that. I'm also bringing in the Pool Party card base. I'm just going to fold that in half. And then we're going to do some embossing on the inside of the card. So I'm bringing in the Happy Thanksgiving stamp. I'm going to go ahead and use the Emboss Buddy and just put some powder on there. And then I'm going to ink this up with the Versamark. And this is going to be stamped right on the inside of your card. So I have my scrap paper, and I'm going to use the copper emboss powder, and I'm going to add that to the inside. And I'm also going to add that to my feathers. So you want to bring in your heat tool. You want to let your heat tool get hot first and then start embossing. So now we're just going to go ahead and start to assemble our card. So I'm just going to apply my feathers on the front of the card. So you can use any type of adhesive you'd like. And then what we're going to do is take our little turkey, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to pop that up on the front. As you can see, I like to use a lot of Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. They're cheap enough, and they keep your image popped up the more you use. When you're mailing these, if you only use a couple, your image here will sag down, and it just will not look right. Then you just want to center him right in the middle. And that's it to that card. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I also would love to hear from you guys in the comments. And don't forget to share this video with your family and friends so they can make this too. Please subscribe below and don't forget to ring that bell. I also offer a newsletter that I would love for you to sign up for. You will get 30 free card ideas just for signing up. Thanks for watching.